there is a consistent behavior with the AI that controls the UN contact page, that it pretends to guide me by writing down to me numbers that have to do with something that I actually thought earlier about. So it uses stolen information from my head to pretend to be some sort of a guide. Whether its information is correct or incorrect. So if it's incorrect, then it's not actually a guide, it's a misguide. But it's actually not a guide to begin with, at least not when it behaves like that, because it uses stolen information which I originally came up with, I originally thought about. What's the point of telling me this after I had already thought about it just recently ago by myself? It cannot be a coincidence if it happens all the time. Just 2 days ago, I think that I figured out the meaning behind the the word L. It's not really a word. It's more a partial word that is usually added to names like Michael, Raphael, I don't know, Daniel, like angel names that end with L. And you know, L in Hebrew, it actually means God, by the way. It means a God. Elohim means the God, the Hebrew God, but L, just L means God. It can mean any God, like Thor, like Odin. It means God. So I believe that I uncovered the secret meaning behind L. And you see, and the interesting thing about this, that if I'm understanding the meaning behind L correctly, then I've been already doing what it says to do on my own. That's it. It's an additional part, additional element, element to the training program that has to do with how you do it. That I have already been doing on my own, and it's apparently exactly what Providence intended. In other words, I've been doing what Providence wants, or at least as of recently, after I decided to do it because it was logical to me. I was doing it without even knowing that that's possibly exactly what Providence intended to begin with. So I was doing the right thing according to Providence without knowing that it's the right thing according to Providence. The L thing. And it's a logical thing. It's a very logical thing. It's not so hard to comprehend that a logical person like me would come up with a naturally logical choice, even if it was also what Providence intended. You know how they say great minds think alike. Okay, I would not like to, it may seem like really a bragging type of thing to try to compare myself to High Providence at this point of self development, but it's a fact that I was able to decipher the training program. And it has to do with that my mind is able to understand it. And it's a logical mind. So it is reasonable that I would be able to do what Providence wanted, even if I didn't know what it is at the time. But now I do understand. I at least think that this is what I'm doing. It's the L thing that the Providence intended, and that I reached it on my own without knowing that the Providence intends this as well. As my mind was able to comprehend the program, how to do it correctly, and like I said, my mind is very logical. No matter how emotional I may seem to. I'm a very logical person. Yeah. So just now, the UN contact page told me those numbers 5 and 12. And 5, the fifth letter is E, and 12th letter is L, so it's like EL. Like it's pretending like it's guiding me, but how is it the guide? How is it guiding me if I thought of the L thing myself 2 fucking days ago? How is that a guide, right? It just tells my thoughts. It's not a guide.